Desire doesn't die, it gets buried under resentment and stress. Well, welcome to day 67. I'm Dr. Nicole, and today we're talking about how to rebuild desire in a marriage, a topic that many couples struggle with, but few discuss openly. As a psychologist who works with married couples, I see how desire fades, not because people stop loving each other, but because the conditions that support desire have eroded. If intimacy has faded in your marriage, if you feel more like roommates than lovers, and if you're wondering if passion can return, this video will show you that desire is not gone. It's just buried under layers of stress, resentment, and lost polarity. Let's start with the foundation. Emotional safety is essential for desire, especially for women. Women need to feel emotionally safe to feel sexually open. This means feeling respected and valued, knowing you can be vulnerable without judgment, trusting that your needs matter, feeling emotionally connected. When emotional safety is missing, you feel guarded and protective, and intimacy feels like another obligation. You can't relax into pleasure. Desire shuts down as a form of self protection that you start to wear. The truth is, you can't manufacture desire through willpower when you don't feel emotionally safe. The body won't cooperate when the nervous system feels threatened. So, how do you rebuild that emotional safety? One is to address unresolved conflicts instead of avoiding them, which many of us do. Practice repair after arguments or disagreements. Show appreciation and affection outside of the bedroom and create space for emotional connection without the pressure for sex. One of the biggest desire killers in marriage is when women overfunction and men underfunction. Overfunctioning looks like managing the household, the kids, the schedule, and trying to do it alone. Being the emotional manager of the relationship, taking on most of the mental load, and constantly in doing mode with no space to receive. Now, why does this kill desire? Well, that's when you're operating in masculine energy, doing, managing, controlling. And he's operating in feminine energy, receiving, passive, reactive. This reverses the natural polarity that creates attraction. You start to feel like his mother, not his partner. And as a result, you can't feel desire for someone that you're being their mother. You can't access your feminine receptive energy when you're constantly in masculine mode. So, how do you restore this polarity? One is to stop doing things that he should be doing for himself. And then ask for help and let him contribute. Ask him or allow him to step up. Create space for him to lead in these areas and allow yourself to receive his efforts. Resentment is one of the biggest desire killers in relationships, and appreciation is the antidote. Resentment builds when you feel like you're taken for granted, when your efforts go unnoticed, when you're giving more than you're receiving, and when conflicts go unresolved. Appreciation rebuilds connection when you notice and acknowledge each other's efforts, when you express gratitude for the little things, when you focus on what's working, not just what's wrong, and when you remember why you chose each other in the first place. So, what does this look like in practical practice? One is you share one thing you appreciate about your partner daily. Notice when they do something helpful and actually thank them. Express affection without expecting anything in return. And celebrate small wins when you're together. The shift happens when you feel appreciated, you naturally want to give more. That's a human thing. When you feel taken for granted, on the other hand, you naturally withdraw and don't want to give. Desire thrives on playfulness and novelty, which often disappears in long term relationships. Playfulness means you laugh together, you can be silly and spontaneous together, and you don't take everything so seriously. Flirting and teasing is so important. Novelty means trying new things together, breaking routines, and creating new experiences, and surprising each other with little things that the other didn't expect. Now, why does this matter? Playfulness and novelty activate dopamine. We hear so much about it, and we're getting cheap dopamine from so many other things. This is the same chemical that was present in the early stages of getting together. They remind you that your partner is interesting, fun, and attractive. So you can do things like have a regular date night, even at home. Try a new activity together. Send flirty texts throughout the day. And be spontaneous with affection. You can also create inside jokes and shared humor with each other that only you two understand. Plan a weekend away or a new adventure. The key is don't wait until you feel like it. Make it a priority. Sometimes you have to create the conditions for desire to return. Finally, I want you to think about rebuilding desire and how it often requires you to reconnect with your feminine energy. When you're constantly in masculine mode, you're stressed, tense, and in your head. You're managing, controlling, and doing. You can't access the softness inside and the receptivity or pleasure that you desire. Desire feels impossible because your nervous system is overactivated. So, restoring your femininity means prioritizing rest and self care, allowing yourself to receive, and softening your body and your energy, being present instead of always planning, and connecting to pleasure in non sexual ways first. Practically, this means taking time for yourself to regulate your nervous system, doing things that make you feel feminine, whatever that means for you, and practice being in your body instead of your head, where you allow yourself to be pursued instead of always initiating. Focus on pleasure, not performance, true pleasure. The truth is that when you feel soft, rested, and feminine, desire has space to return. When you address these areas, the emotional safety increases and you feel secure enough to be vulnerable. Polarity returns and you're no longer operating as parent and child. Appreciation flows like water and resentment dissolves. Playfulness comes back and you remember why you enjoy each other. Your feminine energy returns and desire naturally follows. Most importantly, you remember that you're not just co parents or roommates, you're partners who chose each other. Desire grows where safety lives. When you create emotional safety, restore polarity, practice appreciation, invite playfulness, and reconnect with your feminine energy, desire doesn't have to be forced. It returns naturally. Your marriage can have both depth and desire, both passion and partnership. Make sure you hit subscribe for day 68, where we're reacting to Woman King strength versus softness, the debate that's been all over social media. We're going to unpack the cultural confusion around feminine strength. Tell me in the comments what's one thing you want to try to rebuild desire in your marriage. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Dr. Nicole.